From the UNF softball complex here on ESPN Plus as North Florida welcomes in the nationally ranked Florida Gators, who sit right now at 13-0. They took the win last night over in Gainesville for the Ospreys, though. Looking to follow up that magical season from last year, making it to the NCAA tournament. Here with Adam Glover, I'm Richard Miller, and Adam, fun matchup here tonight as the Ospreys put up a nice fight last night in Gainesville.
I was going to say, it's maybe the first time in the last 10 seasons or so where North Florida is about as strong as we've ever seen them, and they did. It was close, 5-3 in the sixth, ended up being a 7-3 final, but these two teams really match up well pitching and offensively.
Absolutely. Good fans already. They've been here since probably 4:45 today. Let's dive into our impact players, and we'll start with the orange and blue is Jocelyn Erickson. Usually their catcher. She's over at first today.
Yeah, her glove is spectacular. A couple of the gold gloves for behind the plate, but you'd have to assume that defense will translate. But offensively, she is outstanding as well. The senior from Phoenix, Arizona, a huge part in that lineup, batting second tonight.
That's just a crazy top of the order where you've got 5 players slugging 700 or better. So focus on number 8. She'll bat second in this lineup tonight for the Gators. And then for the Ospreys, a newcomer, we'll focus on the shortstop.
Yeah, you got to love when you can hit the portal and get a shortstop and a cleanup hitter. Formerly at Florida Atlantic, she's somebody who in the lineup for North Florida is going to drive in some serious runs this year, maybe get close to 10 home runs as well. Homered in the game yesterday, too.
A big time. Bella Semino. Get used to seeing her name all season long here on ESPN+. We'll take a timeout. Florida, North Florida, from the UNF softball complex when we come back, and we'll have our reporter.
Good evening, softball fans, and welcome to Jacksonville for Game 2 of our midweek series with UNF and 5th-ranked Florida. Both teams met last night in Gainesville for a tight game into the 6th, but Florida pulled away with a 7-3 win. UNF is 11-2 right now with an aggressive offense, hitting .330 as a team. They showed that power with Bella Semino last night in her 2-run homer. Now, Florida is unbeaten with a powerhouse of a lineup in their own Jocelyn Erickson, who has come in and become a leader for this team. She has shown time and time again she is pivotal for Florida. Now, the question for tonight's game is, can UNF's pitching depth hold off the Gators' bats, or will Florida carry the momentum into Game 2? Back to you, Richard.
Thank you so much, Faith, as we take you inside the circles. There's a junior from Colorado, and Cameron Ponick. She gets a start today for the Ospreys.
Yeah, a lot to love about Ponick. You know, she is a bit of an innings eater, but don't be fooled by that statement. She is dominant in the circle. Reigning player of the week in the A-Sun for pitcher, and, you know, is just a weapon, truly, every time she is in the circle. But she's got a tough lineup to face against Florida tonight.
And we talked about it in our pre-show meeting, how much she's grown from freshman to now. There's a Gators starting lineup. Of course, her head coach, 20-plus seasons now for Tim Walton as Shoemaker. Dangerous, maybe one of the best freshman seasons we've seen ever in college softball last year.
I mean, you have everybody in this lineup outside of one right now that has double-digit RBIs, but Shoemaker all over the place, plays the outfield especially well, and, I mean, you get her on base, and she is first to third like that.
Yeah, that she is. Hitting .404, the sophomore. Erickson behind her, and then Grover coming off a great week, named National Player of the Week. So Ponick will have her hands full. Last week, she went 3-0 in the circle, 2 complete game shutouts. And last week, head coach Jeff Conrad said that all that work she did in the summer, playing softball, leading her team to a championship, she right now is looking like the #1 arm.
You kind of have that challenge, you know, you have a very talented season the year prior.
As we'll get first pitch at 6:06, and we'll start with the ball.
So you love that taste of winning the A-Sun, but you know, it was her job to step up and be that clear-cut #1. Worked really hard, had a nice fall camp too, and now here she is starting against one of the toughest teams in the country.
The best, if not the best, leadoff batter in the country in Taylor Shoemaker. We'll see another good one too with Hallie Langford leading off for the Ospreys in the next frame. Ospreys go with the Grays here tonight as they are 1-0 in these uniforms this year. Orange tops for the Gators, and we'll have 2 balls and 1 strike. Shoemaker, an everyday starter in right field. 19 hits, 19 runs plated. 4 homers to go with 5 walks. She'll swing away and miss, will even things up.
Not to mention 6 multi-hit games, too. You know, leadoff hitters in softball oftentimes put somebody quick. Slap hitter could put a bunt down as well. An extra base machine.
Go top 2 bats are lefties. Shoemaker stays off of it. Panik thought maybe she was going to get the call, and we start with a full count on this kind of very warm and humid, sticky evening.
Just kind of hoping that temperature slowly starts to drop as the hours go by.
Cam Panik, A-Sun pitcher of the week. Popped up, it'll be out of play. Over towards the swimming pool where North Florida's up in Nashville right now for the A-Sun Championships. 3-2 count for this Gators team. Man, they're crushing the softball. 4 straight games with 2 or more homers. Another 3-2 from Panik. This one too high, and we'll see our first base runner as Shoemaker jogs over to first base.
First baseman.
Tough for Panik there. You have back-to-back really competitive pitches. The one on the corner that didn't get the call, then you go with the rise ball that's fouled off. So it really felt like, okay, those are the put-away pitches, and eventually losers are trying to go back to that rise ball.
We'll move on down. Here's first baseman Jocelyn Erickson. As that one, a lot of velo taken off of it. Great pitch by Panik. As we saw her get the outing last year against this Gators team, 25. He's right back at Erickson. You've got a tough bat right here for a young lady hitting .463, second best on the team. Shoemaker got her 6th walk earlier. Erickson stay off of it. So Panik looking really sharp. Our first time seeing her in person. Now at count 1-2. Erickson locked in. From Panik. This one well struck. Erickson, this one will be into the bleachers. And another home run for this Florida Gators squad as Jocelyn Erickson goes yard for home run number 5 of the season.
Again, with Panik, you know, did everything right at the start there. She falls behind 0-2. It kind of opens up her, ability to maybe waste a pitch. But, I mean, this just has way too much of the plate. Inner half of the plate. Pull hitter Erickson and drives it out to right center field.
That is now for Erickson, her 146th hit over 146 starts. Impressive numbers there. We'll see if Panik can bounce back. Now she has to face a National Player of the Year in the third baseman, Kendall Grover. An impressive new addition to this team is number 12. And she can hit the ball too. So for Erickson, she's the first Gator to reach 20 hits on the year. Notches her 10th extra base knock. Second pitch, Panik. This one will be ripped down the line as it goes foul over the corner as we have Langford anchoring left field. McCarthy gets a start in center today for the Ospreys. Been excited to see this young lady in person since they added her to the team. Spent 3 really strong seasons at Eastern Illinois. This one into the dirt for first ball for Grover.
The last 4 games, I mean, 4 home runs, 7 hits, 9 RBIs. It's kind of hard to keep that a surprise when you see those numbers when you go face another opponent.
So Grover on 1-2. Panik the pitch outside, now 2-2. So Gators start off with a full count, a walk on a long at bat from Shoemaker. Erickson, 4 pitches later, goes yard for a 2-run home run, and that's where we sit. A 2-2 pitch. We foul back. Fun crowd here tonight, and really for the Ospreys, in talking to Coach Conrad, that for North Florida last year, all that success, but now for the Gators, this is a litmus test of can they beat one of those really good teams to go a little further in the tournament. As this one will be out of play over towards the Ospreys boosters.
You know, Jeff Conrad thinks of last year as kind of almost the foundation. You know, that should be an expectation every single year. And the Gators are one of those teams that if you want to make a run all the way, you're eventually going to stumble across. So if you can kind of get an idea of how this team is now, and hopefully, you know, if you're an Osprey.
Short. Samino. And she's got the nice to get Kendall Grover back over towards the dugout.
Hopefully, if you're an Osprey, pick up a win.
31,
and then that gives
Kenley
you
Cahalan.
kind of all the idea of how, you know, potentially May into June may go.
Kenley Cahalan now the shortstop for the Gators. Other impressive players right here. The senior hitting .462, facing Ponick. Another lefty bat for the Gators, 3 of the first 4. Erickson a home run. She's gone back-to-back, just having a really strong season. 6 multi-hit games. Second one from Ponick. Dials it down some, just off the plate. Oliva is her catcher. Of course, she's a local product from Ponte Vedra High School. With the 1-1 from Cameron Ponick. ASUN Pitcher of the Week. Just see how challenging this lineup is with the Gators. 4th, 5th best team, depending on which poll you look at. 2-1 pitch is high. Cahalan here with an advantage.
Kind of noticing early on with Ponick too, sticking towards up and away in the zone, especially to the left-handed hitters. Erickson's home run was more down and in. Ponick was attacking up in the zone against Shoemaker. Unfortunately for her, worked the walk.
As this one well struck, this will be past the wall in right field, and the Gators go yard for a second time as Cahalan goes deep to right, and that's now 5 straight games for the Gators with 2 home runs or more.
I mean, that's the risk too if you try to push it up in the zone. If you miss, it's over the middle of the plate, and here's another one that catches the inner half of the plate and a little more up in the zone compared to the one that she threw to Erickson that was hit out a little earlier on this inning, but still the same result.
The pitcher, number 0.
And she becomes a
Ava
3rd
Brown.
Gator now with 5 home runs on the year, and we move down the order. There's Ava Brown, who will also see pitch this evening. She got the starting nod. 3-0 start for the Gators in the first inning. Ponick having that excellent start, but a tough little stretch right here through the first 4 batters. Some good velo. You can tell that's picked up quite a bit since last spring.
I mean, just thinking about when she, you know, initially came in, had some issues a little bit with command too, but a completely different pitcher right now in the circle than even, like you said, last season.
3rd pitch. Get away from the catcher there. 2-1 now for Ava Brown. Of course, you'll sometimes see over at first base. Well, Ponick had that perfect ERA. That gets snapped here this evening. Has only allowed 2 walks this year. Comes on in, and that might be her nastiest pitch right there. Brings the velocity down, really keeps you guessing. And she did not have that as much last season.
No, and that's a great spot to do it. 2-0 off speed. It's such a hitter's count there to where if you're a hitter, you're not sitting off speed.
This one gets fouled back. Stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Ava Brown.
So not only is that pitch significantly better from last year, but she clearly has the confidence, even in an inning where things have not gone her way, to still use it in a spot where you don't often see an off-speed pitch.
As this one comes in and gets fouled off right there. We'll do it again. As Ava Brown, we've talked quite a bit about her, is much like Panik we saw in that freshman campaign 2 years ago, and Ava Brown was just magnificent that first time we saw her. I believe went 6 innings and was just lights out. But she can also hit too, and just very good plate presence this year, 13 walks to her resume.
I think that, being a pitcher and understanding the zone, that is a huge advantage to you as a hitter because, you're experiencing, a different umpire every night that you're out there who has a different zone, maybe calls things a little lower inside too. So if you're in the circle and you realize that, hey, this call, I've thrown this pitch inside 3-4 times, I haven't gotten the call once, as a hitter, you're going to stand up there and you're going to, that pitch comes anywhere close to me, I'm going to take it. And that's an advantage just to being in the circle. But going back to what you said, 2 years ago was stellar, 6 scoreless, gave up, I believe, 4 base runners, a couple of hits, though. It was lights out for her the first time she faced the North Florida Ospreys.
As the Gators here in this complex, they have done extremely well. They're 4-0 against North Florida here. But the last 3 games, they've won a combined 32-0. Panik, another 2-2 pitch. Brown stays away, and there's that plate presence as it goes to full. Second time we've seen that through the first 5 batters.
I'll be interested to see what she does here in the 3-2. Again, she has tended to go up in the zone a little more over the previous 4 hitters.
Payoff pitch. This one dips low and a second walk through 5 batters. So she and Taylor Shoemaker, and the Gators just a challenging team. They are not going to swing it at poor pitches, especially if it goes outside the zone. They're not always going to bite.
It wasn't even necessarily that poor of a pitch. It's just one of those off-speed pitches that just teeter in the zone a little bit. But she tried to go back to it there. Ava Brown, incredible plate discipline to not bite even after the previous one. A lot of times you write that off in your head like, okay, we just saw the off speed. Maybe she goes back up in the zone, went twice and took the walk.
This is Cassidy McClellan. One of those really good softball players, I'm sure, as you know, that played high school ball at Lakewood Ranch. We know Grace Shaw played there, and really a handful of Ospreys. Hence why North Florida has a lot of that chemistry.
Yeah, it's a place where development is key for a lot of these players at different levels as well. And you're right, it brings a lot to it when you kind of have that experience already going through a program like that, building great chemistry with some of your teammates, and then kind of pays off when you get to meet up with them at other points in time in your career.
McClellan here. Take a strike. You mentioned that high in the zone. Yesterday, she played quite well. 1 for 4 with the home run. You mentioned her earlier. 3 straight games with the homer for her. This Gators team, they can sure swing away. 2-1 pitch. There's some zip. Probably the most pop we've heard in the catcher's mitt tonight.
I don't know if they called it a legal pitch, I think, here. It was our second base umpire, or rather our first base umpire, who I believe signaled it initially, Carlos Guzman.
And you saw pitching coach there for the Ospreys, Amber Pfizer, coming out and saying that she was on the line there. And so they'll gather up here at the UNF softball complex and talk it over.
It'd be really unfortunate if you're Panik and you don't get this, because go 2-0 off speed in the zone, up in the zone, as a matter of fact, a dangerous pitch. So you catch the batter napping in a way there and then go directly back with more velocity. All of a sudden you're back in control of this plate appearance, going from 2-0 to 2-2. But it might not actually be 2-2 here.
As we'll have a look here for you so you can get a closer peek.
That left foot, I mean, it's on the line because you can see the dirt is kicked up there, but it's just one of those angles. You know?
Umpire, sorry, Adam, to cut you off, but Eric Salgado talking to head coach Jeff Conrad about that and the decision there as he'll come back over for another clarification. As it slows things down just a little bit against this Gators team that really needs no break. We've seen them so far. 4 of the 5 batters have reached base, 2 home runs, 2 walks. Those latter 2 with Shoemaker and Brown. Both working long at bats, got it to a full count. And we'll see for the Ospreys that they'll make a pitching change. Here is Caden Camper will take the softball from Cam Ponick. So we'll take a timeout here from Jacksonville. First inning as the Gators lead 3-0. So the Ospreys change up their arms. We'll see sophomore and Caden Camper. 6'1" sophomore, her first year with North Florida. She started her collegiate career at Purdue. So we'll take a look at number 8, a little more size here as you felt after that call that something was going to be made. Of course, Ponick really deserving of the start here tonight.
Yeah, you know, for Caden Camper, the biggest thing for her is let's just try to get through this first inning. You already got 1 out. It's a 3-1 count because, again, there was that illegal pitch from Cameron Ponick, but she is somebody who can go 2+ innings, maybe even 3 innings as well, eat up some innings, some long relief here. But again, I think the big thing for her is let's just kind of, you know, put a Band-Aid on for this first, try to get through it, limit the damage with just the 3 runs, let the bats come up because the bats had some success yesterday, and then we'll just kind of take it from there and see how far she can go in this one.
Absolutely. So we'll get our first look here on ESPN Plus of Camper in the circle for North Florida. She came away with the victory over Princeton. That was on Saturday. Ending in 2/3, gave up 3 runs, all earned, 4 hits, pair of strikeouts. So, like you said, maybe a couple of innings out of her, help put a little Band-Aid on this as she'll face McClellan.
And you're not in a bad spot here. 3-0, top of the first inning. You got plenty of time. You do got a runner on first right now, trying to avoid the back-to-back base runners here with a 3-1 count, but you got some time here. You got a really talented lineup, and it's a lineup, too, that was able, again, to put some base runners on yesterday against Rothrock, who doesn't often allow too many base runners, too.
For this Florida team, just a powerhouse, but you give them a little bit of a lead, you give Ava Brown some confidence, and that could do wonders for her in terms of pitching the entire night.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Brown next inning, but just so efficient in the circle as well. Great chemistry with her catchers, really understands the zone, you know, can go off speed, can go up in the zone, can do just a little bit of everything too. But if you're Ava Brown especially, you have to be really pleased as to what's going on right now with a really strong first inning before you've even entered the circle.
We've seen the Gators up to bat here for just at 20 minutes in this evening. And a strike there. First pitch will move to 3-2. Third time and 6 batters now for the Gators. Camper settles in. 3-2 pitch. And we'll walk her there. And the Gators have first and second.
The catcher, number 74.
Camper originally went outside to get to 3-2 and goes off speed inside. 3-2, a very similar one on the corner, but not getting the call. Corners have not been called so far here in the first.
Wesolowski gets a start tonight behind the plate. Facing Camper and start with the first pitch strike, always pretty crucial in softball.
And especially against a team like Florida, But it's also at the same time why Florida is so impressive, because especially earlier on in this inning, take Erickson, for example, falling behind 0-2 and still able to capitalize with a 2-run home run. So as important as strike one is, that put-away pitch doesn't have to be a strikeout, but just to induce some soft contact, almost equally as important.
So 2 on Wesolowski, the catcher. 3 hits, 5 runs scored this year, knocked in 4. This one stays in the infield there, and an easy ball underneath it for Bellisamino.
And what Caden Camper has really established early, too, is that off-speed pitch is crucial to her success in the circle. She used it on that 3-2 pitch to McClellan and now gets it here with the pop-out to shortstop. It's a pitch she has a lot of confidence in to get quick outs.
Gabby Comia here up to bat, the second baseman. Something North Florida has been very excited about, having much deeper pitching. Of course, we remember last year it was a lot of Allison Benning.
I think even in years prior to, relying on maybe one person at the front of that rotation, and it is something that they've improved this year in general for North Florida, not even just with pitching, but as a squad in general, a lot of depth, a lot of talent throughout the roster who can play on any given day.
Looking for that first strike, and there it is against Comia, having a really good start to her season. Her sophomore year, yesterday she went 2 for 3 with a run scored.
But losing somebody like Allison Benning, talent aside, innings was, like you said, a huge part to her game. She could go out there and deliver 6-7 on any given day.
It's over to third. And Davila, the throw not in time, so you see that speed from Gabby, how quick she just burns down that line. And having a great campaign, especially when you can have that as your 8th batter in the order. That's so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big reason as to why defensively she's so sound too, but soft contact in the infield, no problem for her because of that speed. It's an easy infield hit.
The Gators will load up the bases. Camper in the circle. And the 9 batter in Thomas, the speedy freshman who's our center fielder. Still in the first inning. Reaches for this one. Shortstop reaches for, and there's Bellisamino able to bring that one in. So the Gators strand 3, but they send up 9 batters, a pair of home runs. Erickson and Cahalan, a 3-0 start for the Gators. We move to the bottom of the first. Gators take the field for the first time this evening. Bottom of the first, they strike early. 3 hits, 3 runs, a pair of home runs, and we get junior Ava Brown from Texas. She's in the circle tonight.
Yeah, she's really fascinating. I mean, pitch-to-contact style pitcher for her. Doesn't allow a ton of base runners, though. Strikeouts not up either, but somebody who, again, is so efficient in just being able to get some quick outs, nobody on the bases, and it's why she can cruise through games easily. Usually has sat this year about 2 to 3 innings, but an opportunity tonight to go much further than that. She can get up to about 6 innings, which is her high this season.
The Ospreys will go with Allie Langford as our leadoff batter. She is so dangerous, has a hit in 11 of her 12 games this year. Had 7 hits just last week. Had a walk last night against the Gators. And a great start for her, as we saw her last year when she came to town as a Mercer Bear. And we saw right away that she was one of the most dangerous players in the country.
And I mean, even starting at South Florida too, you can see just the immense amount of talent that she has. Can do a little bit of everything, can walk, can put up some extra base hit numbers. Fantastic on the bases too. Stolen bases, a huge part of her game.
And there's a walk. It took 5 pitches for her to jog down to first base as the Ospreys have their first base runner. She leads a team tied for the team. Her and McCarthy at 6 walks this year.
Now, one thing that North Florida is going to have to do differently today compared to their loss yesterday was in the first and in the second inning, they had runners on base. Both of those innings, runners in scoring position as well, and they weren't able to capitalize and bring either one of them in.
There's Addie Keefe as the corner is moving in quickly for the Gators. There's Langford over at first base.
Now, in yesterday's game with them being on the road, of course, that means they could have gone out in front potentially, but here at home, I mean, just one run here in the bottom of the first.
Big swing by Keefe.
Does a lot for your pitching staff, and it just kind of, again, proves that this is a competitive team that's going to keep this game close.
6 hits last week for this young lady from Tennessee. Rises too high there. She'll see her first ball. Keefe, too, a very dangerous base runner. She and Langford, they've combined for 13 steals. Into the dirt there. Kozlowski's keeping an eye on the base runners.
She has to. I mean, you know, you don't have your Gold Glove catcher behind the plate, but Kozlowski's still very talented. But top of the order for North Florida is always running wild. And you have Keefe, too, up the plate here, who's more of that traditional kind of top-of-the-order softball hitter. Not a lot of extra base hits, but still finding ways to get on base, putting up a really high average.
So Keefe 2-2. Off the plate there from Ava Brown, full count. So back-to-back Ospreys batters seeing 3 balls in their at-bat. Langford over at first after a leadoff walk. And Keefe swing and a miss. Sliding into second and safe is Langford. That'll be her 7th stolen base of the year.
And this is nice from Langford.
Right
Nice
fielder,
jump. Thrown down to second base just a little bit high, but a great effort behind the plate, too. That pitch just in the zone. Not a stellar pitch to run on. You want something a little more off-speed away, maybe up in the zone, but that speed is amongst the best in the NCAA.
Took us 30 minutes of this evening to get our first strikeout of the game. We move down the order. Here's Grace Shaw, the right fielder. I mentioned Lakewood Ranch. She's one of those products. Great high school. Brown with some velocity. I don't have the gun out tonight, but that felt like the fastest pitch we've seen.
Not only that, but she's so quick in the circle, too, in between pitches as well. It's just pumping them one in, one in, one in.
I'm not going to argue with that. This one popped up by Shaw. Halen, the shortstop, calls for it there, and Shaw is retired. So Langford at second base, a leadoff walk. But Ava Brown is retired the last 2.
Bella Cimino.
Here's our impact player for the Ospreys, cleanup batter, shortstop Bella Cimino. It's a good out for Ava Brown, though. Grace Shaw can do some damage. 1 for 3 last night. On base, all but 1 game this year. For Cimino, she had that home run last night, had a home run Saturday as well. On base every game while she's been an Osprey. She's got herself a 2-1 count. You're right, Brown might be one of the quickest workers that we're gonna see all year.
There's kind of like a piece of that puzzle as to why she's so great in the circle as a pitch to contact pitcher.
2-2. Foul down over to third.
So you don't really have much of a chance to catch your breath if you're at the plate, and when she does pick up the strikeouts, you know, suddenly you're in 2 strikes, maybe want to take a quick second, and that pitch is already by you.
2 again. This one over to third. Couple of strides and a throw there from the National Player of the Week and Kendall Grover. So the Ospreys get a base runner, a leadoff walk by Hallie Langford, but a 1-2-3 after that from Ava Brown and the Gators. We head to the second with the Gators up by 3 runs. Back to the top for the Gators, second inning here from Jacksonville. See Camper in the circle as the Ospreys down 3 runs to 5th-ranked University of Florida. Shoemaker, Erickson, and Grover are the 3 that we'll see. They combined for a walk and a home run back in the first inning, but that was against Cameron Ponick. I've really liked so far what we've seen from Camper.
Yeah, really efficient in the zone. We highlighted the off-speed last inning when she first came in for relief, but that heater is talented as well. There it is on the corner there too. So, you know, a similar look to kind of what Cameron Ponick was doing, but some slight differences as well. But, you know, top of the order here, 3-0 game. I think for her, it's just kind of keep it where it's at.
As this one takes a hop. Oliva, the catcher for the Ospreys here tonight. She gets her 12th start of the season. As that's been one of those spots, too, where there's just so much talent and players beating each other out. This is a very deep North Florida team. Extremely well-rounded. 2-1 pitch from Camper. And a strike there. She tosses in a little leg kick. Camper 1-0 this season. A win coming against Princeton. 2-2 pitch off the plate for Shoemaker. Same count she had earlier. 3-2, and she was able to garner a walk. On the 3-2, it's back into the netting. Shoemaker just so good.
And it's a bit of deja vu here too, because it's almost the exact same way Ponick attacked her. You went down in the zone, then you tried to go back up. She fouls it off just like she did last plate appearance. Ponick last plate appearance went back up into the zone for a second straight time.
This one will be popped up over to the left side, and this will be the third baseman and Hannah Davila.
And there it is, going back up into the zone. This one not nearly as high as the one in the previous plate appearance, but enough to where Shoemaker gets under it, and it's a quick out.
Camper has got to be thrilled with what she's doing. We've seen all 3 of her outs have come on pop-ups to the left side. Now you've got Erickson again. Where's that 2-run blast to give the Gators the early lead? Just 1 inning ago for a team that has 2 home runs at least in 5 straight games. Camper just staying far away.
And now it's flipped here as Erickson was in that 0-2 count in her last plate appearance, now ahead 2-0. But she'll be patient here, but if it's in the zone, in that spot, inside again, you might see her take a big hack here.
Camper. This is high there as she stares daggers at her catcher and maybe the home plate umpire too. A 3-0 count for Erickson. Let it buzz on in for a walk. With 1 out, Erickson, that walk, her 8th.
Third baseman, number 12, Kendall Grover.
Now you've got Grover again. She had the ground out to short her first time up. Camper with a strike to begin this at-bat. Grover definitely a scary bat in this lineup for Florida. She was back-to-back OVC Player of the Year. Let's that off speed come in. for a ball. Four homers over the last 4 games. She had 2 against Marshall. Grover just ripping it. I was a little frightened. I thought that scream was an injury.
Perfect timing.
That's what happens. You have children, and you'll know this, Adam. Congrats, by the way, on the engagement.
I appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you, my
I'm very
friend.
excited.
Yeah.
I know I'll be your best man. But you have children, and any scream just throws you off. 1-2, and that'll be out of play. Over towards the hot dogs.
Is there a scenario that's more terrifying for you? You hear the scream, at home or maybe, out in public a little bit more too?
No, it's usually
just
at
equally
home.
just at home. Okay.
Yeah, usually it's at home, and I hear it. I'm going, somebody fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
Or who knows what. Could be anything. 1-2 pitch again, a second ball. The worst, though, is that you start to catch it once your kid's maybe about 6 months or older. These TV shows that have crying babies or commercials that have crying children, they're
Throws you
terrible.
off.
They're
Yeah.
terrible. Pitch from Camper. For a second, thought maybe Grover would swing, and it's a full count. 3 straight batters with 3 balls in their at-bats for the Gators. Pop up to third, a walk by Erickson. We'll see what Grover's result will be. Grover. No scream this time as it's fouled off.
Interesting, too, how Camper kind of flipped halfway through this plate appearance, was really attacking the outer half of the plate, helped her get ahead, but the last 3 or 4 pitches, starting to see her come in on the hands a little bit more, up in the zone, too. And that's why these keep getting pulled down that third base line.
Pitch from Camper. This one hard hit. This one's going to be back and out of here for a 3rd home run tonight by the Florida Gators, and this one comes off the bat of Kendall Grover. It's a 2-run shot to make it 5-0.
I mean, what a swing from Grover here. You have a hitter at the plate who's pulled the last couple, but this is a pro approach. When you get a pitch on the outer half of the plate like that and you try to pull it, 9 times out of 10, you're rolling the wrists, it's on the ground, it's going to be a quick and easy out, but she just goes with the pitch, this really sweet swing, and that power showcases to the opposite field for the home run.
My goodness, we've seen 3 home runs. All 3 have come from the top 4 batters from the University of Florida. Now Grover, a team-high 6th home run. She had been tied briefly with 5 with a couple of her teammates, but she jumps ahead now of Erickson and Cahalan. The latter one here is up to bat. Had a home run to right field, her first at bat. Great pitch from Caden Camper. It's 11-0-2 against Cahalan. Off the plate, Camper will tighten that mask. Cahalan going into the dirt. It's 2-2.
When you have a swing like that from Grover, too, that makes it a 5-0 game and clears the bases here. If you're a pitcher, whether it's Camper or somebody else, it's all about that reset and that next hitter.
Cahalan checking on that one.
And it was something that Panik couldn't do in that first inning. They had to go to the pen to get Camper. And that's what has to change here for Camper. She has to be the one that does the reset. because you can't keep going to the bullpen every single time to sort of reset things.
The 2-2. Halen. This one finds its way over to left field, just past third baseman Hannah Davila. Over to left tonight is Langford, a base knock. They've gone back-to-back. So Kinley Halen, who
The pitcher, number 0,
had
Ava Brown.
so many, I mean, all of her RBI came over an 8-game stretch, 19 of them. She got one earlier with the home run, but she's having a very strong evening. First 2-hit night for a Gator.
And not to mention, too, had a 10-game hit streak a little earlier on this year. You think Grover and Erickson, you know, one of them is in the cleanup spot, and then you have Cahalan there who slides perfectly in behind them.
There's that replay on the swing, and this will bring up Ava Brown again, who's also the pitcher. She was able to work it to a full count, got herself a walk. That was just 1 inning ago. That was against Paunick. Brown won't swing and take a strike. She kind of tilted her head some. A little surprised maybe by that call.
And not only was it up, but again, the corners have not been called for either side too often through the first inning and some change here. And there's another pitch a little closer to the corner that gets called the ball. So that's why I think that little head turn there is it just was that slight inconsistency with everything else has been perfectly consistent. That one just a slight outlier.
She nodded in agreement with that one for the ball. Third pitch, Ava Brown, 2-1. She came into this game slugging 700, on base clip at almost 550. Brown facing Camper for the first time tonight. This one is juiced, and see you later. Ava Brown goes yard for another Gators homer and another 2-run shot.
The previous 3 out to that, you know, center field, right center field, you kind of turn in your head and going, is it going to go? Is it going to go? This one, no doubter. What a swing. Great bat flip, too. Line drive way out of here. And just a, kind of a courtesy jog right there from Langford.
Now Langford has to watch it roll all the way out to where the lacrosse team practices and also the soccer team. So Ava Brown goes yard again. A pair of 2-run shots here in the second inning. Grover was first, and then Ava Brown. One to right, then one to left. Another pitching change coming up for North Florida. We'll take a timeout here in the second inning. Gators on top by 7. New pitcher for the Ospreys. We'll see the sophomore and Macy Hunold. Exciting lefty arm who was really good last year twice. She's been named ASUN Pitcher of the Week. And the last one coming about a little over a week ago. Last year she made the ASUN freshman team. Facing McClellan.
And she gives it a new look out there, being a lefty in the circle. Got a lot of lefties early on in this lineup, and you kind of hoped if you were Jeff Conrad to not have to use somebody like Macy Hunold in a situation like this, trailing by 7, but she's somebody who can get outs, and I think that's obviously first and foremost right now with North Florida. You need some outs just to get through this inning, and then kind of similar to what we said about Camper, then we can start thinking about the third once you just get these 2 outs here.
Cassidy McClellan, she's the only one to face all 3 pitchers. This over to third base, and a good throw and stop there by Hannah Davila, another newcomer for the Ospreys. Another new face.
The catcher,
But a good
number
out there
74,
for Macy
Ella
Hunold.
Wesolowski.
This is kind of where we saw the damage being done. Caden Camper kind of settled things down, bottom of the order, faced the Gators pretty well. Wesolowski.
And it's unfortunate for Camper, too, because she really got off to a great start. retiring Shoemaker to start this inning. She decided to pitch around Erickson, but against Grover, a long at-bat, a lot of foul balls, ended up losing her, and then just kind of the wheels came off after that.
There's that wild off-speed pitch from Macy Hunold, sophomore from Missouri. Always enjoyed watching her pitch last season. This one low for a second ball. As we've seen her 5th outing right now this season. She can go anywhere from 2 to 5 plus. This one finds its way over to right field, racing single over into right. Well struck second single and 4th
Second
hit
baseman,
we've seen in
number
this
10,
second inning
Gabby
for Florida.
Cormia.
Cormia off the plate there. See that slow rolling single over to third as her first at bat in that long 25-minute first inning. Second pitch stays off of it. It really has that makeup of somebody you could see at probably at 100 plus other schools as being their leadoff batter. Two hits last night. See strike one for this at bat.
If not lead off up near the top of the lineup, that 2 holes, something like that. Great speed, good defender. But it's just such a deep lineup that you just kind of have to plug her in at that 8 spot.
Another good pitch that she takes and facing Macy Hunold for the first time tonight. Mia trying to become second Gator with a pair of hits this evening. And a walk right there. So she's been on base both times we've seen her up tonight.
Center fielder,
Gators will go
number
back-to-back
44,
innings of
Townsend
sending up
Thomas.
9 batters. You'll see center fielder Thomas here again. She's got some speed too, a junior Olympian. Back in 18 and 19 for track and field. Last night, a couple of hits, drove in 2. One of those hits was a double. Thomas, Semino flips it over to third, and the Ospreys able to get the force out, but back-to-back innings where the Gators have sent up 9 batters. Second inning, a pair of 2-run home runs by Grover and Ava Brown. We'll take a timeout, move to the bottom of the second with Florida leading by 7. See for the Ospreys, her second time up to bat this evening. Second inning, Gators have jumped out quickly. 7 hits, 7 runs. Ava Brown in the circle. Anna Davila at the third baseman. We'll see her first time up. That was the first one off. Oliva will bat after her, and then we'll see the first baseman in Aiden Allen.
It'll be interesting to see how Brown does here in inning number 2. A lot of time in between the last time she was out there in the bottom of the first. Now, granted, part of that was because of her and her offense as well and being able to draw a walk too. But yeah, it can be tough for pitchers in the circle when you have that significant amount of time, even if you're up big like Florida is right now.
As this one will beat a short. Takes her time, throw will get there. And Halen retires another infielder. 1-2 for
The
Ava
catcher,
Brown. She absolutely
number 6,
crushed that 2-run home run in the last frame.
Oliva.
We talked about it during the break. Maybe one of the hardest hit balls we've seen in this park.
I mean, I said it in the last, when she came up to the plate too. I mean, the previous couple of home runs out to right center, kind of standing up and taking a look, and this was just off the bat it sounds like line drive into left field, but it just elevated and took off like a rocket.
Alva here. She'll go back-to-back balls. First time seeing her up to bat, as she's hit safely in 8 of her 11 games. It's Auburn. She went 2 for 2. With a really good addition to this year's team. Ten hits, a pair of doubles. Rises too high there. Has the advantage now against Ava Brown. This one past the glove. That'll be in the center field for a base knock for the Ospreys catcher. So good piece of hitting as the Ospreys get their first base knock of the night.
Number 21, Aiden Allen.
Going to ask for much more from the first-year Osprey. And here's Aiden Allen. As this one will be over in the left field, and that one on a rope for Cassidy McClellan. One pitch and one out for the former Arizona State player.
It was a good swing, but I think that pitch just was in on the hands, just a little bit of Aiden Allen. And she clearly saw it well out of the hand, elevating it out to left field, but that's why it just kind of suddenly died about mid-left field.
I feel like, too, that was a lot of a brand. Just automatic with stuff like that, bouncing back, gives up a hit, one count. As this one just dies in front of home plate. Throw down to first, and the Gators will record their third out. So a single by Alva. That's it for the Ospreys in this second inning. One base runner. We head to the third inning with the Gators leading boxers. As Florida, the bats are hot tonight. 4 home runs already. We're in the third inning here, top of the order. For the Gators, back up to the right fielder in Taylor Shoemaker.
I mean, not too many times, too, you send up 9 to the plate in each of the first 2 innings. And your leadoff hitter in your lineup is leading off each one of those innings.
It was tight last night in Gainesville. The Ospreys really had it close there, even late. But North Florida now on their third pitcher. Ponick got the start. We saw Camper for a brief while. This is Macy Hunel. Shoemaker. Just such a good eye. Both times she's worked the full count. First inning, it was a walk. Last inning, she popped it up over at third. 1-2 pitch. This one will be to short. And the throw there from the Ospreys, Bellisamino. Oh, she's been fun. As the Ospreys really, I feel like it all spots upgraded the infield.
Yeah, I think it's an area that needed to be upgraded in a lot of ways, too. You want to prioritize strong defense, but now that you're really established as a conference threat and a team that could be a playoff team each and every year, being able to find some players as well that can hit the ball pretty well. It didn't even have to be for power necessarily, but just getting on base consistently, I think was a big reason as to why they addressed it too.
So Erickson takes one pitch and gets hit right there. She saw a good amount of those last year. Third time this year for her. Now it's Kendall Grover. One down and one on. First pitch strike. Grover just seems unfazed by anything. Hit safely in 5 straight. Five multi-hit games, looking to make it 6. Five of her 6 home runs have come over the last 5 games. Pitch from Hunel. Thrown away for another ball. Last season, Grover's slugging percentage was .728. Entered tonight at .717. Hunel back into the zone. Grover's seen a 2-2 count for all 3 times she's been up tonight. Ground out and a home run. As this one will be into center there. And for the Ospreys, ASUN Defensive Player of the Year preseason selection, Kaylin McCarthy, hardly has to move.
She started backwards, which is great. That's what you want to do, take that first step back, and kind of picked it up just a little bit, but firmly planted her feet, found that spot quickly, and made the play.
Here's Kenleigh Cahalan. It's been impressive tonight. 2 at-bats, 2 hits. Surprisingly, the only Gator with 2 hits tonight. 3 Gators have 2 RBI. Cahalan will take a ball. She hit the second home run of the evening. It was a solo shot. That was in the first inning, and then had a single. He sent that over to left field. Hunel, third pitch, just want a ground ball. Looking for the toss, and they get the force out there, does Kelsey Vogel. To Bella Samino. So the Ospreys just 1 base runner. It was a hit by pitch. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Still same score from the UNF softball complex. The 3rd inning for the Ospreys up to bat here. We'll go 9-1-2. Center fielder McCarthy will start things off for the Ospreys. And she had her 11-game on-base streak end last night. Big base stealer for the Ospreys last season. Had the team high of 17. 6 already this year. And facing Ava Brown, who's been very strong tonight, Adam.
I mean, on cruise control right now, and even if there's a slight hiccup, like the single in the last inning.
As this will be a base knock for McCarthy. And that speed right there, and surprising. I was focused on you and your comments. Right. Even she shrugs right there.
I mean, I'm watching it, and it's just kind of hooking, and it got really quiet, too. I think everybody else was like, is this a fair ball? And it was. That snaps a streak of 4 straight games without a hit for her. But I think one really fascinating thing about how well North Florida has done, and it's kind of reflects with Kayla McCarthy, it looked like it hit off of the glove over there as well, which is why it kind of hooked into foul territory real quick. Is she's only got 1 game this year, though, with 3 at-bats. I mean, North Florida is winning these games handily, pinch hitters, run rules here and there. So even though she's, coming in hitless in 4 straight, she honestly has just been a little unlucky in not being able to get up to the plate too many times.
Yeah, and she saw that plenty last year where North Florida would just be up big and she'd maybe have 1 at-bat. So McCarthy there at second base, as really that contact, maybe the almost no sound to it off the bat of McCarthy. Touch the glove of Erickson. And Brown again will face Langford. Second time tonight, Hallie led things off. Got a walk back in the first inning. Got her 7th stolen base. Ospreys just 3 base runners tonight. This one will be a foul.
And that one equally as quiet. You kind of turned your head down the line again there to be like, okay, where's this one going?
Count 1-2 for Langford. Is that young lady trying to send us a message? Old girl there. Is she rooting on a certain player. My eyes are so bad at night now.
Really?
Oh, it's bad.
How long has it been bad?
Maybe a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So you hit 40, everything goes downhill, Adam.
You've been giving me
warning
some
you.
great advice.
Yeah. Are
on
you
this
writing this
broadcast.
down? Are you
Oh,
writing
I'm
this
taking
down?
mental notes here.
Okay. This one almost blocked there. McCarthy's going to slide into third. And so with that, the Osprey is that much closer to getting their first run this evening. See, this is what happens. You get a job, you move to New Hampshire. I'm trying to give you life
Right.
advice because you won't have me anymore.
I'm an engaged man now. Things
You are.
are completely different. So any advice from anyone is very much appreciated.
Oh, Langford gets some of that right there. Base hit will bring in McCarthy. Got her 5th hit earlier. This one well off the plate. Kozlowski keeps staring down McCarthy over at third base. 3-2. Addie Keefe on deck. Langford, swing and a miss, and Ava Brown, she has been in command.
Talking about
The
bouncing
designated
back
player,
similar to that second inning.
number 5,
Doesn't let not only the
Addie
double but the wild pitch really
Keefe.
affect her, just attacks the leadoff hitter here in Langford, who's at the top of the lineup and gets a big strikeout.
She only has 2 tonight. That one foul. McCarthy has to get out of the way. But those strikeouts coming against Langford and earlier against Addie Keefe, who are now seeing bat for the second time. Keefe had a good week last week, 6 hits over those 6 games. Falls behind 0-2. Pitch by Brown. And Keefe just got a little piece. McCarthy over at third base. Another 0-2. Falls low and away. Two hits for the Ospreys tonight, 7 hits for the Gators. Pitch by Brown. And Addie Keefe not going anywhere near those. Similar at bat. She fell behind 0-2, worked it to 2-2. This one into the glove. Brown. And with that, she stared down McCarthy. And Keefe is going to end up over at first base. So corners for North Florida. As Ava Brown just tries to keep the Ospreys off the scoreboard.
I mean, even though that runner was put on over there at first base, this is the first run of the game for North Florida if it squeaks by Ava Brown. Now, again, you'd love to not have runners at the corners here, but North Florida still being blanked at the moment.
Now you bring up Grace Shaw, who was just a demon last year. One of the best players in the Atlantic Sun, really jumped out on the scene in that series down at Stetson. And from then on, she was just an absolute beast. See her up to bat for the second time tonight. Her first time up, she popped up to the shortstop, Cahalan. Shows bunt, works away. And the Ospreys will get the runner there. Keefe sprinting to second. Second stolen base for the Ospreys tonight. Langford had the first one. And this one off the glove of Brown. Brown. And has some time there to get it to first. Brown, great quickness, awareness. Working there with Erickson over at first base tonight.
Shortstop, number 12, Bella
Excellent
Toledo.
reflexes there, Adam.
I mean, again, that's 2 in a row, and I know she knocked this one down, but to just get a piece of it and to be able to go up the first baseline against somebody in Shaw who can run and still get the underhand flip, great play.
It's snagged by the catcher, Cimino. Good RBI opportunity here for her. 2 home runs over the last few days for Cimino. The junior started every game this year. Highest slugging percentage of any of the Ospreys. 2-0 pitch, zooms in for a strike. She had the ground out to third base, but that was all the way back in the first inning. Just above the knees, this one tighter end for 3-1. Cimino fouls that off, full count. Second Osprey to have that this inning. Langford was the first. Two on for the Ospreys. McCarthy at third. Keefe at second. Brown pitching. And time called. Now we'll have a visit out to the circle for the Florida Gators. Trying to keep this shutout intact. Talk to the catcher. And definitely most intense moment right here, as you see tonight. Gators, a couple of strikeouts. They've allowed just 2 hits. And really, they've looked quite good. McCarthy had that one that went off the glove of Erickson, ruled a double. But other than that, Ava Brown just looking really nice this evening.
Yeah, the importance of this out, though, is can't be understated, because Macy Hunault on the other side for North Florida has done very well in relief right now. Florida did not score in the third inning. They did in the previous 2. So even something at 7-2, going to the fourth while you're still in control here, it definitely makes it more nerve-wracking.
Cimino rips that foul. Big deep breath from the Ospreys shortstop. Pitched by Brown. And it's going to be a walk for the Ospreys, who load up the bases.
Third baseman, number 27, Anna Davila.
The Ospreys bring up their third baseman. Had a ground ball to short earlier, but she's got the bases full right now. And at Davila, 6 runs batted in. Slugging right around 450. Checked on that. Got a piece of the bat. It being Louisville. A bit off the plate. Wesolowski has kept a lot of things reeled in tonight. Nothing, I think maybe one pitch that hit off her chest protection, but that's been it.
And she had one earlier this inning, too, that she kind of almost scooped off the ground with McCarthy over there at third. And even if it just gets slightly by her with McCarthy's speed, that's the first run of the game.
Sits at 2-2. Pitched by Brown. This one over to the second baseman. Double clutch there, and the flip over to first base from Komiya to Erickson. So Ospreys end it with the bases loaded, but they get some runners on, starting to get some production here. We head to the fourth inning with the Gators leading 7-0.
Capitalize early. What's the key to sustaining pressure offensively right now?
Not just doing a good job. This is the third pitcher we're facing now. We just got to do a good job being able to get this pitcher to elevate the ball a little bit. We've hit the ball pretty good. Some solid line drives from our right-handed hitters to get our left-handed hitters to leverage the ball too.
Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you, Richard.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Faith Lamp, over in the dugout. And thank you to head coach Walton. We've got Ava Brown up to bat here, and she's been impressive. We've seen her in the circle tonight. 2-run home run her last time up. That was in the second inning. And she'll start us off for this fourth. Facing Macy Hunolt. Has not faced her yet. Hunolt with the strike to begin things. Adam Glover, Richard Miller here in the booth for you. First broadcast of the year from the UNF softball complex. Home run and a walk tonight for Brown. Off-speed pitch. That was masterful to watch right there.
I mean, Hunold's got it figured out right now. It's been a strong outing so far for her in relief, really attacking these hitters, and a good part of the order here too.
Increases that velo. Good bit outside. Brown decides not to swing. 1-2.
It could be a waste pitch too if she wants to try to go back off speed.
McClellan on deck for the Gators. And she's been the one who's really seen all the pitching changes. It seems like every time she steps up into the batter's box, something changes in the circle. A 2-2 pitch. And Hunolt takes the blame for that one. Full count. Second time Brown has had this count tonight. Brown strikes this, and it's foul. I think I got a wafting. Is the grill on? I think I got some hamburger. Was that
I
just
could
me?
smell it a little bit earlier on today
Okay.
too. Yeah, full force over there.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it. Pollen and all these allergies the last week. Another 3-2, and there's a walk second time tonight for Ava Brown. Brown extending that team lead. She now has 15.
Left fielder, number 22, Cassidy McClellan.
And here comes Cassidy McClellan. Third plate appearance tonight. Walked back in the first inning. That's when North Florida decided to get away from Cam Ponick, and then we saw Camper come in for some good innings. As this one will be to the second baseman, looking to turn two for the Ospreys. And so Vogel there is a second baseman, and they'll just get the one with the force out at second.
The catcher, number 74, Ella Wesolowski.
Wesolowski, here the catcher. Really good job tonight by her behind the plate. Also has a single. And she's gone 1 for 2. Popped up to the shortstop, her first time up. And Hunolt, it felt like the second fastest pitch tonight that she's had. Wesolowski, third pitch for her. showing bunt, lays it down. Comes over, the Ospreys covering there with Vogel, and some good work by Aiden Allen to move in and secure that out.
Second baseman, number 10, Gabby Comia.
Comia here up to bat. We talked about her speed the last time she was up. 1 for 1 with a walk this evening. Dangerous player. Gators with the runner at second. Comia for the Gators. Another one of those young faces, Adam, just a sophomore. Much like Thomas and Shoemaker, they're going to be around for a lot more ball games.
Yeah, on base over 470 entering in. You have to think that, you know, kind of taking it back to something that you said, here she is sort of in the 8-hole right now, but you know, you give it a couple of years and maybe she finds herself a little higher up in the lineup.
There's a 2-0 and a strike there. Oliva has started to move. She knew right away that that was coming in for a strike. Hunold fouls that off. Got Oliva just above the left kneecap. Looks like it just glanced off that left thigh. She'll stretch her neck some, then her leg. And that one's gonna sting for a while. So, you know, she's gone the longest tonight of any of the Ospreys, 2 1/3. She's gotten 6 ground balls. Giving up a hit and walked 2 Gators. 2 pitch. And Comia fouls that one just past her dugout. Again, 2-2. Hunold. The pitch. This one underneath the glove of Bellisamino. The Gators are going to play to run, as it looked like she was going to have it, Adam.
Yeah, she's charging in on this ball, and it's kind of a weird angle for her, having to stick the glove over, you know, the left side with being a righty thrower. But, you know, we'll have to look at it again. Not sure whether or not she didn't get it down far enough or potentially just pulled it up a little bit too soon. But either way, it brings in that 8th run, and North Florida's in trouble here.
And we'll see our first replacement, first change of the evening. This will be Madison Walker, the junior, who steps up to bat.
Pinch hitting for the Gators, number 24, Madison Walker.
So Walker up to bat. She's got a teammate on over at first. Comia is super speedy. 3 for 3 on stolen bags this year. We saw Walker last night. Spent her first couple of seasons at Missouri. Big home run hitter, if you remember her at all in the SEC. 18 home runs last year. That was 3rd most. She's not starting. You're usually going to see her appear at some point in the game. Walker. Six hits over her last 5 games entering tonight. This one back to the circle. Easy ball from Macy Hunold, who gets out of the inning right there. A little comebacker from Macy and the Ospreys, but the Gators played their 8th run. We'll take a timeout, move to the bottom of the 4th. here from the UNF softball complex.
I saw a shift of momentum this inning. We had bases loaded. What are you going to tell your team right now on how to settle in the offense?
Well, we got to find a way to push across the run, extend the game. We got 2 innings to get our offense going, get on the board, start chipping away, and try to extend the game to a full 7.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Richard.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Faith Lamp, over in the dugout there. Thank you to head coach Jeff Conrad for a moment of his time as well. Some changes defensively for the Gators as Thomas now out of the game. Shoemaker will move to right over into center field, and Walker takes over in right field as we just saw her pinch hit. Kaden Oliva start us off here in the home portion of the 4th inning. Ava Brown pitching for the Gators. 3+ innings from her, giving up 2 hits, 2 walks, pair of strikeouts. She does have 1 wild pitch, 5 ground balls. That one just on top of the dugout for the Gators. Oliva, too, looks pretty tough after taking that ball just above the left knee. As the Ospreys' everyday catcher. Doesn't bite on it, 1-2. Oliva. This one sends a shortstop deep. Throw will be in time there. Kinley Cahalan. And what a play there. You thought that she was completely out of it. Adam, we'll take another look here shortly.
Number 21.
But a well-timed throw and everything. The jump was just a little addition.
And that ball kind of just slowed down too when it hit the grass. Almost looked like it maybe had a slight bit of backspin too, but just spectacular. I mean, there's no other word to put it.
I know. One of the best defensive plays I've seen in this ballpark.
Yeah, 2 hops, jump throw. It's also understanding as well.
As this one will be over into the grass. Oh, Mia, plenty of time underneath it.
Yeah, it's understanding as well kind of who's at the plate and who's on deck as well. You know, if it's somebody like a McCarthy who hits it to the left side, who's known heavily for, her agility and that speed and being able to take that first quick step, you probably eat that ball, but
this one, another good play. Ava Brown comes back to the circle, and she goes 1, 2, 3. Quickest inning tonight for either side, and you've got Ava Brown who gets a brilliant defensive play from Cahalan. We head to the 5th inning with the Gators leading. Not too much of a rest there for Macy Hunold. She's back in the circle for the Ospreys. So her team trails by 8 runs. So we're back to the top of the order for the Florida Gators. 4th time tonight that Shoemaker has started us off for an inning. We've seen her walking. She's worked a 3-2 count twice. But Hunold, her the first matchup, a ground ball to short. This one will hop her back. And we've seen comebackers in the last couple of at-bats, both Ava Brown and Macy Hunold, the 2 pitchers that we've seen the longest tonight. Macy, 3+ innings. Ava Brown for her 4, and most likely 5, and she'll finish off the night, I would assume.
yeah, Ava's been the person you circle kind of on the lineup tonight as that impact player, both in the circle and at the plate. But Macy Hunold, I mean, coming into a game trailing by 7 against a tough lineup like this, and the only run she's allowed so far is on a ball that was hit to short that the play probably should have been made.
Hunold as this one, Erickson, what contact. That one is see you later, her 2nd home run of the evening. She started the game off in the 1st with a 2-run blast.
I mean, that there is really her first mistake of her outing so far. Just too much of the plate to Erickson. Looked off speed, out of the hand, and That's just Erickson, so much power, such ease, such a quick swing too. As we take another look at it. And already into that jog too. And it was off speed, too much of the plate again.
And that one very similar, just quiet, but I think the contact was just so perfect almost on the bat. Here's Grover. Jocelyn Erickson, who 2 seasons ago was a first-team All-American. He's gone home runs twice this evening. Her and Grover each have 6 on the year. Ground ball, Bella Semino there. And Grover with her second ground out tonight. You said it perfectly. Really, that first mistake that we've seen from Macy Hunold this evening, Erickson made her pay for it. Cahalan coming off that just brilliant throw from short. Just everything about it. Hopefully somebody got a photo of that for her so she can frame that in a room. All in all, I think the Ospreys should be pleased with number 10 and what she's done out there pitching-wise. 3 1/3, giving up 2 runs. This one smacked. It'll be sent into center. That one a hard hit. Cahalan. It's going to give her 3 hits tonight.
The pitcher, number 0, Ava Brown.
3 for 4. A couple of runs scored. 1 home run for her. Just impressive. She is an all-around player, that's for certain. That's a tough first 4 or 5 bats that you have to face. Here's Ava Brown. Led off the 4th inning. Had a walk. 2 walks and a home run tonight. Third pitch off the plate for 2-1. Three Gators with 2+ hits tonight. 3 Gators with 2 or more RBI. Eva Brown stays away from it. Second time tonight we've seen Hunold take blame for a missed pitch. Ava Brown on the 3-1. Fouls it off. Another full count. 3 of the 4 times she's made a trip up to bat tonight. First 2 times she got on base with 4 balls. Swings away and will continue this at bat. With 2 outs on the board, Ava Brown starting pitcher tonight as well. She's kept the Ospreys to just 2 hits. Brown, take it off the plate. Macy Hunold thought maybe she got a piece of it there. So with the walk there, 3rd one tonight for Ava Brown. She now has 16 on the year. Gators with 2 base runners. And it looks like, I believe we'll see a pinch runner for the orange and blue.
Pinch running for the Gators, number 16, Allison Sparkman.
There's Allison Sparkman. She'll be the pinch runner. And they'll gather up. Will the Gators talk this over Kind of in the latter innings, if you will.
I think, too, this is the first time we've started to see, I think, Macy Hunold slow down a little bit here. And just starting to struggle now that she's faced this part of the order multiple times. And Florida wants to capitalize. They have a chance to end this fairly soon here, and if they can add a couple of more runs, it goes a long way for them.
I remember watching some of that game over at JU, a final of 20-0.
Number 22.
I mean, these innings count. You have to think about that. You got to get players necessary at bats, get some pinch runners in, and every out counts.
Is this one well struck? This one is going to bounce and go off the wall. Gators bring in another run. And that one just great contact as McClellan there goes with the stand-up double. And just attack right away.
Ella Wesolowski.
Wesolowski. She'll have an RBI opportunity.
For Hunold in that last at-bat against McClellan, I mean, it's just, you got a pitcher that's slowly starting to run out of a bit of steam here, and those pitches that were effective in the zone earlier just don't have that same kind of movement, just kind of are hanging there right there, even if it's not something off speed. And it's a cookie that any player can drive to the wall like we saw.
Two on for the Gators. Tonight for Ella. One hit earlier. 1 for 2. And a sacrifice. And she goes down looking a strikeout to end the frame. Macy Hunold there and facing 7 Gators. But they add to it. 10-0. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Start things off for the Ospreys here in the bottom of the 5th. Worked well for when we saw her in the 3rd inning. Led things off. Had the double. Went off the glove of Erickson. This one foul. As Ava Brown still in the circle. Wheeling and dealing tonight for Brown. 3 walks, a pair of runs batted in, and the circle. 4+ innings of work at him. She's looked great. Giving up just 2 hits, one being a double, but just a lot of confidence. I think it spoke volumes after that single that she gave up to Oliva. And then that one pitch and a fly out right away by Aiden Allen.
I mean, she gets right back into it and attacks the next hitter. She gets out in front of the hitters a lot, but not only that, but you think last inning too, Strands the bases loaded, but it never felt like Ava Brown in the circle, even though there was a visit.
This one over to first, and the out down there secured pretty quickly.
Left fielder.
Some good work by Erickson.
It never really felt like Ava Brown was in as much trouble as the situation actually was, and she was able to get out of it. Made a couple of good defensive plays in the circle as well on a few balls that were hit back to her.
Langford, hard hit foul ball. As the Gators still, I don't know what it is. When they play at the UNF softball complex, they are an absolute juggernaut. Now 4 games in a row where they've scored a combined 42 runs. Langford, this one will stay in the infield. And sliding on over, nice play there by the infield.
The designated player, number 5.
Some good work as Comia moves over to short. Addie Keefe. Brown just off the plate. So throw in, looks like a little bit of a smirk afterwards. Big cut by Keefe. Well, we've seen the Ospreys' top of the order is pretty set. 1 through 4 is going to be on lockdown, it seems like, for much, if not all, of the year. Swan a fly out over into left. And that one for McClellan. And that's going to do it as Florida tonight, an absolute powerhouse. Well, we saw it with those bats, Adam. I mean, it was just one after the next, but 4 in the first 2 innings really defined this game.
You know, the thing about the Gators, and even in yesterday's game too, when they put up 3 in the second, attacking early against starters, it can be tough. You know, starters often have multiple pitches, a couple off-speed pitches can do a lot. So that's why you hear and see, you know, second time, third time through the lineup is when hitters start to figure it out. Not the Florida Gators. I mean, they come out in full force and can hit 2-3 home runs in an inning and immediately set the tone. So for Florida tonight, Ava Brown was special in the circle, but just getting out offensively up 3-0 and then 7-0, by that point in time, they were in cruise control.
Ava Brown gets a win this evening. Ponick, her first loss of the year, and much like any other year, SEC softball this year is going to be fantastic as the Gators, a team to be reckoned with for sure. They take both games against the Ospreys this year, and they stay undefeated at this ballpark. Now 5-0 is Florida. The Ospreys held to a couple of hits, but I think bright spot for the Ospreys, Macy Hunel. Looked really good out there through 3 2/3 innings.
Yeah, you come into a game when you're trailing by 7. It's not easy. You know, people think, oh, you know, maybe you don't have a lot to worry about because you're down big. But the reality of it is that's not the case at all. And you're going up against a lineup that's, you know, top 10 in average, top 5 in RBIs and home runs as well. And she silenced them for quite a bit of time. Had that one mistake on the home run a little bit later on in her outing. But it was a great performance from her.
We've got Faith Lamp, and she's with our player of the game, Ava Brown.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Ava Brown. First and foremost, happy birthday. She turns 21 today. And then second off, congratulations. What an amazing game you played today. Can you tell me what was going through your mind in the circle?
Really, every time I just try and trust my teammates. Every inning, I point out to everybody. I tell them, you got me. I need to hear you talking to me. My confidence relies in my teammates and their vocal throughout the game. So I was just really trying to feed into them and have fun.
So what are you taking from this game onto the rest of the season?
Really just trying to have confidence in myself, trusting my teammates. I feel like I need to trust my preparation a little bit better, which is what I've been trying to do. That's what I'm working on, trusting my pitches, seeing what's working, seeing what's not, and just trying to get better every game.
Thank you so much, Ava. Back to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Faith, there with Ava Brown. A happy birthday. A memorable one, to say the least, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, the performance in the circle alone makes it a memorable birthday. Then you walk 3 times and hit the long home run, too. What a day for her. For North Florida, though, it's another tough loss, but I think if you still kind of look back to yesterday's game, though, you're starting to see North Florida, you know, they win the ASUN last year. They make a decent run for it in regionals. They are starting to be able to compete against some of these tough teams. Didn't go their way today, but similar to the game against Auburn earlier this year, you're going to start to see more wins pile up, especially against SEC opponents.
Absolutely. Gators now 14-0. They'll have that tournament in Gainesville coming up this weekend. North Florida 11-3, and they headed out west to Phoenix, facing Canyon, and some more litmus tests coming up this weekend. Great job by the entire crew, our director Ethan Ray, sideline reporter Faith Lamp over in the dugout all evening. So for Adam Glover, I'm Richard Miller saying so long from the UNF softball complex as the 5th-ranked Gators come away with the victory tonight, 10-0 over the Ospreys of North Florida. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.